It's Mike Titino with the Safety First Home Inspection Show.
So thank you for having me. It was an absolute pleasure. Love being here. I love chopping it up with you.
Catherine, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
I'm proud of you, man. Good for you. I like it.
The Safety First podcast show. I have an extremely special guest today. He's a rock star, new real estate agent. He's the winner of the Real Estate Protege show, Mr. Manny. Thank you so much for coming. Greatly appreciate it. So why don't we jump into your bio first?
Of course, yeah.
So
I came here came to the United States in 2013. I was about to be 21, I think. And, I grew up.
From which country?
El Salvador, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born and raised in El Salvador. Beautiful country. Unfortunately, there's a lot of violence going on. And, I came here trying to look for a better life. When I was in El Salvador, I kind of my dad moved, came to the United States when I was 2 years old. So I knew that I wanted to be here, and then that one day I was going to be able to come to the country, right? So English was a big thing for me because, I had the idea that my dad lived here, so he knew English. And then I found out that in El Salvador, you can also get paid pretty much like double the minimum for just knowing the language, right? And then provide a service like being called on the phone or something, all of that. So I learned the language, and when I came here, it was just, I don't know, like a really big advantage, so.
Would you consider yourself fluent when you came here, or you were still learning as you went?
I was still learning. I'm still learning
still
right
now, right?
Yeah. But no, when I went learn English in El Salvador, I felt like I knew English, right? But when I came here, it was like, oh man,
different story.
Speaking to a native, it's pretty much, I don't know, it's just different, and how you learn, and I think you can understand this because like right now you're in the process of learning Spanish, right?
100%.
Yeah,
definitely.
So you were learning Spanish in here, talking to people that speak Spanish in here, but when you went to Mexico, it was, right?
I did, yeah.
I assume it was like a whole different.
It was, yeah. So for those who don't know, I've been learning Spanish for the last year, and I took my first trip by myself to Mexico, and every day I was put in a position where I had to figure it out, whether it was ordering food, traveling, obviously, hopping in cabs, asking people for directions. So every day was just a complete out of my comfort zone, but that's how you learn.
Yeah, that's how you learn, yeah.
So you came here from a different country,
yeah.
And do you feel like your experience back home kind of grounded you and made you humble as far as your work ethic goes?
Of course.
Because I feel like when people come from different countries, they just work so much harder than I want to say the typical American, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
They definitely value hard work and things like that. So when you first came here, what was your first job?
Oh, I started in a restaurant at Applebee's.
Okay.
As a cook, yeah. Didn't know anything about cooking though. But like my uncle, he got me the job, and I was like, I'll take it. I'll learn. Like,
right.
And that's the thing. Like, when you want to make it, like it doesn't matter what it is. Like you'll learn it fast, and that's pretty much what happened. Then I had another job as a dishwasher, and I was working 2 jobs, right? And in my head, I was like so blessed of having these jobs, right? But I would look at like the other people that worked in the restaurant, like servers, busboys, and
barbacks,
yeah. And all of them, right? And I would like get to talk to them, and that's how I was pretty much like, man, like I want to do that too, right?
Right.
But what you said right now is true. I will speak to like servers and stuff like that, and you will see that their mentality is different. They like I was thinking about it last time. You actually have to not have anything to appreciate the value of things, right? And let's say in El Salvador, even though I would say like a modest life compared to like other people.
Sure.
It's still like, you come here and it's like a whole different world. So being as a dishwasher and as a cook for me was a blessing. Getting $10 an hour was a lot of money.
It's a big deal, right?
Yeah. I come from a country like in El Salvador, minimum wage is $300 a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a big difference, right?
Definitely a big difference.
Yeah, when you do the math, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
So I felt blessed, and but I knew that like I had potential to like do better than that.
Absolutely.
So I started talking to servers, and I was like, yo, like, what do you do, right? What do you say? Like, what do you need? And they were like, oh, not really. Like, you only go to the table, and they would tell me, right? And then I went on YouTube, like, how to become a server.
Yeah.
And I was like watching videos, like I wanted to, because I saw that they were making like a lot of money, like cash, right? Compared to like $10 an hour.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so I was like, I want to do that. And like, that mentality pretty much brought me here to where I am right now.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's funny because you had mentioned that when you don't have certain things, you kind of value it more. When I was about 13, 14 years old, maybe even younger, maybe even 12 years old, every winter, every time it snowed, kids would go out, probably throw snowballs at cars and things like that. I saw that as an opportunity to make money. I would knock on doors just like you're doing right now, and I would ask them, do you want me to shovel your driveway, your walkway? And every single day, I wouldn't come back until in my head, I was like, I have to make at least $200 or $300. And then I wouldn't come back home until I had a wad of,
of course,
cash in my hand.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome.
So I think not having certain things, like you mentioned, it creates a hunger. And what happens is when you reach certain levels, now you start to think, okay, I'm a dishwasher, now I'm a server, now,
Thanks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's always, different levels of everything.
Yeah.
So you're in the restaurant business. How long were you doing that for?
Since I came here I'm still working there.
Oh, you're still there? Okay.
Yeah. So it's been like, it's about to be 9 years.
And then as of recently, you got your real estate license.
I did, yes.
And how long have you had your license for?
Probably like a month and a half.
So you've been licensed?
From what was it?
Right now we're in April.
We're in April, like what, March something?
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
What made you get your license?
So here's the thing, right? My wife has started as a real estate agent like around a year ago. So, I saw that it's a good business, right? Like I compare it to serving or, to restaurants in general. And it's like money-wise, it's a big difference. Like, it's a big difference. And just the type of life that you can have is different too, right? So the reason why my wife and I decided to become real estate agents is because I have a 3-year-old, right? So when she was born, we wanted to give her a good life, right? So we decided to work really hard. And my wife and I were working doubles in the restaurant like crazy. So her stepmom would take care of our daughter when she was a newborn. So literally, like, I feel like the first 2 years, we didn't really get to spend time with her. It was like, her stepmom taking care of her, and we were just at the restaurant, like crazy, working there. Then we had this idea of like, becoming a manager, right? I wanted to become a manager, my wife as well. We got there, and dude, like I hated it so much.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's a nice job, but like it's crazy, right? As a server, you go, you have your section, take care of your tables, and then you go home. As a manager, take care of the whole restaurant, cooks, dishwashers, like, guests, servers, bartenders, everything. Yeah. And they give you this idea that you can make a certain amount of money a year, right? Which is nice, but if you do the math, it's like how much time am I spending, right?
It's not worth it.
Yeah, I read this book called, I think it's called the 4-Hour
Work Week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, I was thinking, right? And I'm like, yeah, because this book gives you the idea of who's richer, right? The person who's getting paid this much amount of money, spending this much amount of time compared to someone else. So I was like, this did not, like, it doesn't add up, right? Like, like the reason why I want to work hard is so I can spend more time with my daughter. Of
course.
So then we got out of that restaurant, and we were really mad because we kind of like got fired, right? So my wife and I were like, you know what? Like, I want to like trying to find like a business where like, I can be in control and make money and get to spend time with my daughter, because I feel.
And I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Your wife was already licensed at this point, or not yet?
Not yet.
Oh,
okay. That's when everything started.
Gotcha,
because
okay.
we got a job in a different restaurant, and we had like a different mentality. Now we had a goal, right, of like, do something, like open a business or something, right? So we got a job in a different restaurant. We both did, and then she had a part-time at a brokerage as a secretary.
Okay.
And that's when everything started. Then she came back. She came to me and she was like, babe, do you know how much money like agents make? And like, I was like, how much? Like this much for a deal. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, right? That's a lot of money. So we went step by step. Like, she got her license. I got another job. And I was working I was making sure that there was always money coming in, right?
Of course.
And she was doing real estate pretty much as like part-time because she was still working in the restaurant. And I just loved it, getting to talk to people and everything.
I actually think that's how I met her too, actually, because she hired me for a couple home inspections. So
I was going to tell you that. She I remember because she would do open houses, right, on the weekends, and she would tell me these people came to see it, and then she told me this guy came to see it, and he was looking at all of the details and stuff, and most people they just go look at the house, the kitchen, the gas, and whatever, but he is more detail, right, and he looks very passionate about what he's doing, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think he does inspections or stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So then the next week you were there, one of the open house too, and then she started to know you, right? Then when she had her first deal that she needed an inspection, she contacted you, no doubt.
Yeah, that's how I've met a lot of realtors, just by showing up, and that's something that you're doing right now every day, which we're gonna get into later. I'm just a firm believer in. Of course, you can call people, email people, shoot a message on Instagram, Facebook, but I like to be old-fashioned and meet people face-to-face.
Yeah.
Because they kind of get a feel for how you are, I guess.
Of course.
And obviously, I left a good impression with your wife, and I've done that a couple times. And some of those people that I've just met at open houses are some of my top realtors now that consistently hire me nonstop.
Yeah. I told my wife... well, because we just bought a house, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, Mike has to do the inspection.
Yeah, I remember. So now both you guys are licensed. Now, how do you come across the whole Brian Karp real estate protege? For those who don't know, what is that show? Oh,
so it was ultimate job opportunity, right? So Brian Karp gave someone the opportunity to be on his team, and in order to do that, he went through a different way of interviewing people. We did pretty much a challenge, I would say, for 4 days. We woke up at 4 a.m., and we pretty much went through a series of events. And then we'll be the next day. We're probably done around 8, 9, I think. Then the next day again, 4 a.m., and go through the same thing.
So what made you actually want to, I guess, did you get an email or... Yeah. How did it work? How did you first hear about it?
Okay, about the event or Brian Karp? Yeah,
the actual show that's going to start airing.
Yeah. So I started when my wife started in real estate. I like reading books, right? So I'm always if you want to be good at something, you have to follow top producers, right? People that are doing
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's how I came across with Brian Karp, the lender who was on the show that bought a shelf.
Brian.
Epi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Epi. So Epi went and bought the shelf. It was one of the challenges, right? So he gave a small conference about mortgages and loans and all of that, and he mentioned Brian Karp, and that's pretty much how I knew about him, and then I started following him on social media and stuff like that. So one day I was knocking on doors with my wife. I got home, took a nap, then she wakes me up, and she's like, oh, babe, look. Because I found out about him, and I admire him, right? Oh, man, he's working. He's doing, taking advantage of this opportunity, right? I want to do the same thing. So I saw the video, right, that, I'm looking for someone to work. So, I was like, man, I'm in. So I have to, I had to make a small video, a 60-second video, introducing myself and stuff like that. So I did it, and I just wait for them to get back to me, right? Yeah, I never thought. I think if I knew I could call them and be like, hey, I just wanted to confirm, I would have done that pretty much every day.
Yeah,
but I didn't, so I was just there waiting, looking at the page,
of
see
course.
what. Yeah.
So up to this point, you've been working with Brian for a few months now, right?
A month, I think.
A month or so.
A month and a half.
What have you learned from Brian so far?
Oh man, so he's a machine, man. This guy, he's good at what he does. so when I first started with my wife, when my wife started, right, she focused a lot on the buyer's part, right? We saw pretty much like, I don't know, like the real estate. We saw this whole real estate as like we wanted to help people buy homes, right? But with Brian, it's like he helps people sell homes. You know, he focused a lot on that. So I've been learning like from that side. You know, when the listing side.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been learning about like how he does business, how he pretty much run his business. You know, and it's been a lot. But more than that, I've been trying to, go out there and get business for me, right? Like I want to like be out there and get to help homeowners,
of course,
home buyers.
So you've been licensed, you said, for a couple months now, right?
Like a month and a half, yeah.
So a month and a half since you've won the Real Estate Protege Show, what have you accomplished from then until now?
Yeah, so when I first started, I found out that and this is something that I learned from Brian, like this business, it's about prospecting, right? Like in a restaurant, I go to the restaurant, I clock in, people come, eat, I get paid, and then I go back home, right? In here, I have to go look for business.
Yes.
Which is, I feel like it's a good advantage when you're willing to like
and you're
put in the work.
Yeah,
exactly, yeah. Because like now, like who can stop me, right? Like I was like, I knew about knocking on doors, right? So, but I'm like, what else can I do, right? Because like the day has 24 hours, so like I need to take advantage of this 24 hours and try to like prospect different ways. So I started dropping flyers, calling, knocking on doors, and I got to right now we have 5 listings.
Wow.
Yeah.
5 listings.
5 listings. And
I'm going to say that one more time because the new agents that are hopefully going to be either listening to this or watching this, this man has been licensed for a few months now, if that, and he already has 5 listings.
Yeah.
So, but it's all about being consistent. Just every day you have to time block, whether it's, from 12 to 3, you're only doing this.
Yeah.
After that, you're only doing that, right?
Yeah.
And to get 5 listings, around how many contacts did you have to make in order to make that happen?
So like, 5 listings is a lot, right?
That's a big deal.
It is. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of mad because I've been talking to like hundreds, if not thousands of people, though. Like, I've been trying to reach all of these potential sellers or buyers. And I don't know, man. It's been thousands, you know.
But people need to hear that because I feel like, people just getting their license, they think it's easy that, you can make your own schedule, that the people will call you up to sell their...
Yeah, nah, man.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
Like you said, you have to prospect, you have to get the business.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer in, which has helped me in my business, but when I first started, no one knew who I was. No one.
Exactly.
You have to get out there. You have to network. It's going to get to a point which it's definitely going to happen with you very soon.
Yeah.
Is that you're going to knock so many doors, call so many people, and when you get 5 listings, 10, 20 listings, now you're going to be recognized in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And now your phone's going to start ringing. Hey, I'm looking to sell my house. I see you everywhere.
Exactly.
You're the go-to guy. So I definitely think in the beginning, maybe the first year or two, it's an uphill battle on getting your name known, but once the references start to build up, the referrals, then
of course
you may not have to. But if you're hungry, like Brian still is,
Brian does, yeah.
The guy sold 200 houses a year, I think, right?
Yeah, on 2019, yeah.
And he's still knocking, till this day.
He still does. Yeah, that's why I admire him, because that's the thing. Like, at the beginning, it takes time. I feel lucky. I feel like blessed, right, that I have these 5 deals.
Yeah.
But I feel like this business, you can actually compare it to farming. Like you put in the work first.
Yep.
And it takes time.
Absolutely.
It takes time to like start looking at the benefits of all
Absolutely.
of that.
Yeah.
Like you, right? You used to go to open houses.
I still do. I was today's Monday. I was at multiple open houses yesterday still. Yeah. And there's been multiple times where I've walked into an open house. I've met a realtor for the first time, introduced myself, and they don't know me from a hole in the wall. And they I could see in their energy that they're not going to hire me, which is fine, but it's a numbers game because some people, they're going to go, I don't know this guy, home inspector. I'm not going to trust a stranger with my client's purchase of their property, which is understandable. But what happens is when you network so much, you can now start saying, oh, you know so-and-so? I've done multiple inspections for this person. They know me. I have references. So I feel like that obviously helps too. Yeah. But yeah, there's definitely times where they're probably going to take my card and just rip it up. But
it's part of that. Yeah, it's the same thing with me prospecting. You know, a lot of people are like, they'll curse me out. Whatever. It's all right. You know, I don't take it personal.
You can't.
I just kept doing it because I know, if I keep, it's a numbers game. Keep doing it, I'm gonna get what I'm looking for.
So when you were on the actual Real Estate Protege show, did you think you were gonna actually win?
So when I first got there, so I was like, I felt like I had to at least try. You know, I had this feeling that this opportunity is gonna be for me. But when I went there the first day, and I saw the other contestants, I was like, oh man, you know, because these people had already experience, and they they will speak fluent English, and I was like, man, do I have a chance? I don't know, but I had this feeling that I had to be there and give my 100%. And
no, of course. And what was going through your moment at the end when you finally Brian had announced that the way he said it too, I think he said something it was something like you're no longer
you're no longer a contestant, and I'm like
you're done,
but I'm like, wait a minute, I don't think so, right? He kept looking at me, and I was like, I feel like he's gonna say something else, right? And I was just there waiting, and then he said it, and I'm like, yes, I knew. But I was nervous. I was super nervous when he said it. I was like, oh man. But then I was like, wait a minute.
So JB, who also co-hosted the show, he invited me to watch the season finale, which I thought was great because I thought it was only for real estate agents. So the fact that he invited me, I was definitely grateful for that.
Of course.
And watching the ending, I'm not gonna lie, me among most of the people in the room too, I was kind of like, all right, there's something in my eye right now. I'm like, but it was definitely a real emotional moment. Because I guess you knew that this is going to be life changing.
It is, Anyway, man. When he told me that, I couldn't hold it literally.
Of course,
I was so happy, and same thing. My allergies came in, and I was like, oh.
There's dust in my eyes,
But it was very emotional. Man.
And there was a point too. I'm not even gonna lie to you. When both you guys were doing the listing presentation, I was like, I don't know if Manny has this one right now.
I didn't know what I was saying, man. It was. I was super nervous, and I didn't want to lie. I didn't want to come out with things that I don't know. But I just went there, and I felt like I'm just gonna show them who I am and what I want to do, and how much I want this.
Because I think what Brian saw in you, which is quite obvious, is that even if you don't know how to do something or you're not skilled in certain areas, your willingness to learn how to do it,
of course,
I think definitely stood out. Of course, every other contestant was phenomenal, but with you, I feel like he might have saw something in him through you, and he was like, you know what, I could train this guy. This guy's hungry, and he's willing to do whatever it takes. And that's something that you and I have in common. That we always say, whatever it takes, and that's been a blueprint to what I've been doing that's been working, waking up at 4 a.m. because how many people say, I don't have time to do this. It's just the day is so long, this and that. And then, I like to show people every day we all have the same 24 hours.
I love when you say that, because we all do, and that's something, I really appreciate that Brian saw value on that, because it's true, I might not know everything about real estate, but I do have 24 hours, and I know I can use them. And I've been trying to prove that, and I'm now working prospecting, being on the restaurant, and being a dad. My wife and I are expecting.
Course,
it's a little bit hard, but there's just no excuse.
No excuses, And every time I meet new real estate agents, because luckily Handsome Homebuyer as well, which you were on his podcast show.
Yeah.
He's been introducing me to new real estate agents also, whether it's to collaborate, to shoot content, which we're going to do soon.
Yeah.
And I always bring you up. I say, look, this guy's been licensed for a few months. He has 4 listings. Well, this was literally a week ago.
Yeah.
But now you have 5. But I would tell them, like, this guy is doing it, you know? And I feel like some of these realtors, they have to kind of get a grip. Like, you have to put your head down and go out there, not just post a fancy video on Facebook. Or don't get me wrong, content does help, but there's nothing like face-to-face, in person, you know, step by step.
I would call like, you know, when people post stuff on Instagram, Facebook, I would call that like passive prospecting.
Yes.
You know, you can leave it there and hopefully someone will see it and try to call you because of that. But the real business is where the homeowners live,
yes.
you know, right there in the neighborhoods, you know.
Exactly.
Like you have to go in and introduce yourself.
So your first listing that you got, how do you get that one?
Dropping flyers.
Dropping flyers.
Yeah. So like at that time, I didn't have my license.
Okay.
At that
so
time,
so you're prospecting without a license.
I was. So I couldn't like call because I was not gonna lie, right? Yeah. So I just went and dropped flyers over Islandia.
Okay.
Like so people called, you know.
And I'm guessing the flyer might have said something along like, if you're looking to buy or sell, please contact me or my wife, I guess.
Pretty much, yeah. So Brian sold a house in Islandia a few months ago. So we use that as like, you know, tell people, right? Sure. Like, look, like, you know, this house you sold, you know, we're still looking for buyers, you know. If you're interested in selling, call me, right? Something like that.
So when you got the call, say, hey, I just got your flyer, were you like nervous? Were you excited? What was, you know?
Yeah, so they actually called Brian.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
okay.
They called Brian. So we went because he's training me, right? So he went, did the presentation and everything. Yeah, and that's pretty much how we got in.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then do you have a goal for 2021 by the end of this year? Do you want to have a certain amount of transactions or amount of listings, or what's your goal for just the first year, I should say?
Yeah. So right now, like, I don't really have a goal. My goal is to just be able to jump into real estate and not have to work in the restaurant business anymore. You know, that's my goal, to just create like a little, yeah. So I don't know, when it comes to deals, I don't know. Like, I mean, I would like to do like 200.
Of course, yeah.
But I don't have a limit. I don't have a goal. I would just want to like, my goal is to like focus on prospecting. Once I focus on that, I know business
everything will come. Yeah. And you know, I could speak firsthand on that because, like I said, my first year was like, I don't want to say the toughest. I don't think it's tough when you're hungry.
Yeah.
I think you don't look at it like, oh, I have to do this. It's your mentality is like, I get to do this. I get to build my business, and it's exciting.
Yeah. Every effort, every like, you know, effort that you put every day brings you closer to where you want to be, and that's and there's definitely gonna be days where you might not get the instant gratification. Someone might tell you like, no thanks, or things like that, which has happened to me dozens of times. But like I said, it'll get to a point where now just people know you from networking events, and then you could start, you know, building your references. And the rate you're going at now, I mean, 5 in a month and change. Yeah.
I mean,
my wife closed six last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's the thing. Like right now, I feel blessed because like I have her by my side. You know, Brian is there coaching me and telling me.
Team behind you.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully, I get to the 20 in the next 6 months.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if we have a conversation around this time next year, you're gonna be like, yeah, I have 30 listings now. I have buyers lined up waiting to call. You know,
hopefully, man, that's the goal.
Definitely. Well, I think the rate you're going at now, there's no question. I mean, do you see yourself slowing down at all?
Not at all.
I don't see that.
Nah, not at all. I want to keep going. Like I'm telling you, like right now, I've been doing this like part-time because I still work in the restaurants.
And he's part-time.
Yeah.
Hold on. This guy is a part-time realtor, been licensed for a month and change, and has 5 listings. So for those who are listening, there's no reason why you can't get one at least once a month.
Of course.
There's no reason, right?
Yeah, they're definitely
Wow.
not. I'm telling you, the day has 24 hours.
Yes.
You know, there's no excuse.
And that's why I wanted you. Well, I wanted you on here for obviously multiple reasons, but I just feel like you're just such a doer. You know, like you don't procrastinate and things like that. Now you mentioned that you like reading. What books have you read that has just like completely changed your mindset? Like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I think one of the books that I read, I love this guy. His name is Jim Rohn.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard about him.
What book has he written?
He does like inspirational, right? Like
Okay.
like motivational books. He has a book that it's called The Seasons of Life.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty much talks about the same thing. You know, like you like there's how would you call it, phases, right? Like you know, like let's say farming, right? You go through planting the seed, then you go to taking care of them, putting water, and then like they grow. So that's life, you know. That's pretty much how life is. Like right now, I'm putting in the work, you know, and I'm really happy. I'm blessed that I was able to find these 5 deals. It's not that easy, you know, but I feel blessed that you know I'm working on these 5 deals. But you know, I'm putting in the work, but I know that it takes time, you know, follow up, and then like you know. Get the reward, and I feel like this is what this book taught me, right? That it's a process. Everything is a process, and it takes time. There's gonna be nice days where, like you know, like someone's gonna call me and be like, "Oh,
I want to sell
my house," or like, "Oh, I'm looking to buy and get an offer accepted." You know, that's like playing the lottery right now.
Of course.
And there's gonna be days, weeks, or months where like nothing happens. You know, but you gotta keep working. And
let me ask you this. You have 5 listings now. You said it took hundreds, even possibly thousands of contacts and calls and door knocking. What gets you through like the bad days where someone says like, stop coming, like don't knock on my door, and you know, they hang up the phone on you, and what process do you go through, if you do, to get back into, all right, I'm not taking that personal. I have to keep moving forward.
Yeah, you said it. Like, I don't take it personal.
Yeah.
You know, they're not mad at me. They don't know me.
Right.
So, you know, they just probably like going through something. And like, you know,
day.
Yeah, I got there in that bad time, you know. But this is a question that I asked Brian, too, one day. I was like, you know, have you been through this? And he was like, yeah, but here's the thing. Like, this person might not want to sell with me. It was rude or everything. But then their neighbor, like, sold the house. And it was like, this amount of commission. So, you know, like not because one person said no, it means that the one living next door is going to say no again. It could be that now, but like it could be that they do want to sell, you know. So
of course,
I don't take it personal, and I just feel like this is just like that's how sales are, you know.
Yeah,
that's how sales are. Yeah, absolutely.
And what I try to do to help you guys, the real estate agents, is you were there actually. So once a month, I host these workshops where, whether you're a seasoned agent, brand new agent, I bring realtors to a distressed property and we do a full walkthrough from inside and out, from top down, bottom, and I point things out from a home inspector's point of view, just to better educate you guys. So if you're going on a listing presentation, you could point out, okay, this bedroom doesn't have a smoke detector or things like that. And I definitely, from what the feedback I've been getting is that it definitely helps, or whether you guys are showing houses with buyers, you could, you know, say, you know, the outlet doesn't have a cover on it, there's exposed wires, things like that. Instead of just pointing out, oh, this is what the paint looks like, this is the kitchen tile, like, no offense, but you don't need a realtor to point out, here's where the bathroom is. That's obvious.
Of course, No, but it's very informative, and I was very happy that I was there that day. Hopefully, I can attend another of those workshops, because it's true. You know, you go to a listing presentation or you showing a house to a buyer, like you know, like you know, like you don't go like, this is the kitchen, right? Like
exactly.
No, like this is very important because this is the things that they're looking for.
Safety issues,
of course,
And before I was doing home inspections. I was a contractor, so when I would go on an estimate, it was very similar to going on a listing presentation, where your prospect client would walk you through the house, tell you their goals, their deadline, things, their time frame, and I never pushed for yes. I know in sales they always say, push for yes, get them to sign yes. I always push for, I would have never known that. So when I walk through their house and I point out safety issues and things that they would have never known, the more they started saying, I didn't even realize that. That's how I knew I was separating myself from the rest of the people that might be going on the same, estimate and things like that.
Yeah, and just trying to get them to sign, right?
Exactly. So that's why I always push realtors, come to my workshops, educate yourself.
Definitely.
And point things out that you could even save someone's life if there's not a smoke detector in a child's room or something like that.
Of course.
I've been doing it every month. It's been working out. Would definitely love to have you back, of course.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Manny, how can people get a hold of you, follow you, reach you? They want to sell their house, of course.
Yeah, of course, definitely. So my phone number is 516-808-7969. And you can find me on Instagram as Manny Sells Many Homes, and on Facebook as Manuel Sanchez.
Manny, I cannot thank you enough for coming on my show. I'm super excited to seeing your journey, whether it's 6 months from now, a year from now, because I know that 5 listings is going to turn to 10, 15 to 100 one day. So I'm looking forward to watching your journey.
Thank you so much. Thank you, man.
Really
it's a pleasure.
appreciate it.